This is What the Health on Football Radio with me, Georges Berthonneau. Joining me now to chat about hair, eyebrows, and even pube transplants is trichologist from Wimpole Clinic, Marie-Royce Book. Good morning. How are you? Okay.
I'm really well, thank you. A bit envious of your Christmas hat.
Are you? I actually have a spare one.
Oh, should I
Cool.
teleport it
Should we
over?
just throw it over there for you? Right, so how's your morning been so far? Good?
Really well. Just checked in a patient. Not an exciting pubic or eyebrow today. So just a male hair transplant ready to embark on his hair restoration. So a straightforward one this morning.
Amazing. Well, maybe that's why I'm wearing my Christmas hat, because, maybe I need a hair
No
transplant.
judgment here.
No judgment, it's okay. Right, so you are known as one of the UK's leading brow designers and hair consultants. What first drew you into this kind of very specialised area of hair restoration?
I think actually it being one of my own journeys. So I always say to people who come to see me that I know how they feel because I was once them in their chair. Unfortunately, I didn't have the support that I felt I needed. It's a really largely male dominated industry. So I went in with a lot of faith and sort of bolded in and tried to implement things a bit better to make it a bit more relatable for females and something that I knew could help women
Mm.
through their hair loss journey, whether that be, of course, it started with eyebrows, whether that be through brows, through hair loss, and onto pubic hair loss also.
Which we will cover all of this in the interview.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by lots of this because it's such a big topic, and it's become bigger and bigger over the past few years. Now, do you think there is a drive coming from social media and how we spend so many hours on social media compared to potentially before, or do you think it's just purely because aesthetics is a bigger thing now? More people kind of want to fix things that maybe they aren't happy with. Yeah.
I think hair loss has such a huge history, and historically we've always been changing our hair. But something that has remained is genetic hair loss, especially with men, and somewhat inevitable. And previously men would wear wigs, and that was acceptable. And in recent times, especially British, it was a little bit taboo even considering having a hair transplant. But now I agree, through social media, through more people being open and comfortable with it, people are now exploring ways to um, get their hair back. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I have a 7-year-old son, and just yesterday he asked me if he was going bald. And it's a concerning topic because I know that's coming from social media,
Mm.
because I also see parents bringing their sons as young as 13 with similar concerns.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's obviously other options and stuff, but I guess we're here to talk about this. So let's
Yeah.
quickly go on to obviously an area of specialty. So it's your eyebrow transplant. So for people who don't know, can you briefly explain how an eyebrow transplant actually works?
Of course. So, an eyebrow hair transplant is really similar to having a hair transplant on your head. It is a little bit more specialized. So, it's a minor cosmetic procedure. In a sense, it's done at the clinic. I work at the Wimpole Clinic, and we have two particular methods where we remove the hair. So, we borrow hair. Well, I say borrow, but we actually remove the entire follicle from the back of one's head. And this is prepared using microscopes and trimmed, and then in preparation for it being relocated onto the eyebrows, I will map and design the brows with the patient prior to the surgery part where the doctor makes incisions. Incisions are little holes that are put on the eyebrows, and then that essentially is where the grafts are then placed into the eyebrows. So we are reconstructing a brow. We can put hair anywhere there wasn't hair before. So lots of people are worried that, oh, but I've got no more hair there. Will this work? It does work, and we can transplant hair from your scalp into your eyebrows. We can also use alternative body hair. So for men who do not have donor hair at the back of the head, we can take a little bit hair from below their chin. We can take chest hair, and we can also take pubic hair.
So a question that is running through my mind is, if you're taking hair from, let's just say, the back of the head, do you have to, because the hair on our heads grows quicker than other areas, right? And you can correct me if I am wrong. Would you have to trim, shape, cut the eyebrow, or will it naturally kind of, I don't know, not grow too long?
So the main point of mapping, so outlining the perimeter of the eyebrow shape before the surgery, is so important, because the brow shape should only grow within the area we've placed the brow. So we map on a beautiful shape that will be timeless for you. But yes, you're absolutely correct. If I wanted to grow my hair from April to October, I could have wonderful long eyebrows. They will continuously grow.
Hey, if we push it on social media, anything is possible. Remember that. Lots of people want lots of things.
They would try. I think they would try.
Yes. So
regular trimming is absolutely encouraged. So at least once or twice a week.
Okay, nice. And who is an ideal candidate for an eyebrow transplant? Are there people you advise against the procedure?
There are people we advise against the procedure. Some people have, unfortunately, autoimmune conditions, and this is where they have lost their eyebrows or hair due to a condition where the body is essentially attacking the follicles. And so this wouldn't be an appropriate procedure for them, because the body would behave the same and essentially reject the eyebrow hair transplant. But for people who are wanting a more permanent aesthetic restoration and are tired of yearly microblading sessions, or even people who are constantly drawing on their eyebrows, this is a great solution for them. And I'm just speaking about women right now, but I have many male patients who do brow restorations also, because
I have no doubt.
Makeup on men is not, some men, it doesn't look as natural on them. So, they're looking for natural solutions.
Well, I know where I need to go if ever I cut an eyebrow off, or I shave it off, or have any eyebrow issues, because
or scar.
I actually have a scar on my eyebrow. I walked into a marble table when I was like 2 years old. So
very common.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't like it, and they come and say, "Can you feel this scar?" And of course, we can do that.
Oh, I just I say I got hit with something. We'll make a cool story out of it. Right. Are there any big misconceptions you hear about eyebrow transplants?
Yes, I think so. Some of the misconceptions are very similar to, I can imagine, other cosmetic procedures. Is they'll come in and they'll show a beautiful and highly edited picture of a celebrity with, an almost AI looking eyebrow, and they want exactly like this. So it's really about managing expectations. We can move hair and help it look as natural as possible, but the eyebrow hair transplants are never going to look exactly like the ones that you were born with, simply because the scalp hair is thicker than natural eyebrow hairs in caliber. Of course, you're cutting the hair, so they're always going to have a blunt end. We can't even make them really as thick as they naturally would have been. So, it's about managing expectations in that sense. And also borrowing hair, can I borrow hair from a family member or something? No.
Can't that get rejected from your body because it's not like the same DNA? I know it has similar strands, but it can get rejected, right?
Yeah, it can. It would be attacked. I once had a patient who came in with a cup full of hair she'd saved.
Oh, wow.
And she thought that I could put them back in.
Oh,
so you can't do that either.
Okay. So anyone who's listening, if you're trying to collect hair that you have lost, do not take it to your local clinic for hair transplants or eyebrow transplants. Right. Elephant in the room. Pubic hair transplants. Never heard of this before. A lot of people probably don't realize that this is even a thing. So How, first of all, how common is the procedure? Do you have percentages on men and women? Is it, I don't know. I'm super confused by this, but I'm super interested.
It's really quite a sort of underground society, it feels like, because the want is there. We do this, I would say, not as frequently as we do brows,
Mm,
beard, and hair transplant, but the request is there. There is a want for it, predominantly females. And the reasons for these women having to want their pubic hair back is for a number of reasons, mainly from permanently removing their pubic hair, and wherever they are in their life, they want their pubic hair back for
yeah,
whatever reason. It might be a relationship ending, it
yeah.
might be a new relationship wanting it, it might be empowerment for the woman
Mm,
just wanting to restore what she feels is natural. I think that's the main point. There's these women, they have removed it in a point of their lives, and they actually regret it and they want it back.
okay. So would it be the same as eyebrows, for example?
It
Yeah.
is, yes.
Gets mapped.
So
It gets, you can get your own, like a,
we design
it's not
it,
like a
yes.
vajazzle, but it's a design. It's whatever you want. It's okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So why do people seek hair transplants? Do you think, is it because of, sorry, pubic hair transplants? Like you
Yes.
said, aesthetics. There's a mix of medical as well. Like you said, is it purely, like you said, just down to previous relationships, or, having it removed? Is it always, I mean, they might not tell you, but I'm guessing, is it medical, aesthetic?
Um, I I haven't had somebody come to me with it being more medical. So medically being usually a scar.
Mm,
There'd be a scar down there that they want to have covered, and or perhaps the hair doesn't grow where there's a scar. That is common in hair transplants, but I've yet to have somebody come for a pubic hair transplant for that reason.
okay.
The majority of the females that are coming for their pubic hair restoration is because they've either lasered all their hair off
Okay.
and have grown out of that phase,
Yeah.
grown out of that trend, grown out of that ideal sort of look, and they want their bikini back.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
had women who have naturally sparse hair, so not
Okay.
not very thick and dense
Mm.
looking pubic areas, and they wanted a fuller looking bikini area. So many different reasons, I think.
Okay. Now, I'm sure there's probably like a nervous laugh when people kind of hear the whole pubic transplant and stuff, but is there one myth you would love to debunk straight away about pubic hair transplants? If there are any.
Um, that I think that it is solely to do with a partner. I think everybody thinks and they assumes it's because of a partner
Yeah.
uh, has a fetish, perhaps, or has a want for that, and the woman is doing it solely for a partner or boyfriend.
Mm.
And it's not what I see in clinic.
Okay.
It really is an empowering statement for a
Hmm.
lot of these women. Wanting to go back to what they originally had. I think when we think about hair restoration, it really falls easily into a category of perhaps vanity. But hair is something we all
Hmm.
have. And when you lose it, you simply want it back. And I think that is the same idea when we think about pubic hair.
Well, I mean, you can look at so many people, right? You get a haircut and it's like, oh my God, you look so different, or oh, you've grown your hair, or so. I mean, I'm not sure if it works like that with pubic hair, but I'm assuming, we've all had hair and we all have hair. So, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Are results permanent, and what can patients realistically expect with all sorts of transplants?
Yes, hair transplants are permanent. So the area in which we take the hair from the donor area, which is the back of the head, these follicles are DHT resistant. Which that is a compound which is responsible for female and male pattern hair loss.
Okay.
So because of that, these hairs, they will last you for the rest of your life. Albeit, illnesses can happen.
Yeah.
If that does happen, then they're not, they will lose you will lose those hairs if that
Yes,
were to
yes,
happen.
yes, yes.
But in essence, that it is a permanent procedure. So when we relocate those hairs, they do behave the same, and they will be with that person for the rest of their life, hopefully.
Okay, and the recovery process, is it similar? Are they all kind of similar, or is there kind of special considerations given, hair or head versus, you said
The
bikini.
pubic.
You said
The,
bikini. Yeah.
the pubic hair transplant is quite an elaborate recovery. So as you can imagine, the pubic area is on the top of the mons pubis. And so immediately after the surgery, we cannot risk any clothing or underwear touching that area. So we provide the patients with these sort of old-fashioned petticoats, and they're encouraged to bring a big, round skirt,
Yes.
so that no fabric is touching that area when they leave the clinic. And then they're instructed to, go home, recommended to go home by car if possible. And as soon as they get home, lay down with no underwear, and try and keep that area free for at least 48 hours to allow it to not avoid any risk of dislodging those hairs we put in, because it is a very long day, 6 hours in clinic, and to go home and accidentally swipe it off, or or lose those grafts, you'd be devastated. So it is a very, very strict post-op instruction.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know why, but when you told me about the pennycoat, I just couldn't stop thinking about, when animals and pets go to the vets and they have a little cone around their head. Yes. The cone of shame. Obviously, it's not the cone of shame, but it's kind of like the same concept, isn't it? You're basically putting something to stop anything touching. Obviously, with animals, it's a little bit different. It's so they don't lick wounds or whatever, but same kind of concept. So, okay. And
with the beard, we ask people not to talk too much. So with the pubic hair, we ask them not to walk too much initially.
Yeah, no sexual activities as well, no doubt, for a little while.
No, absolutely.
Okay. You've seen life-changing transformations. Is there one patient story that stays with you?
I have a few. I think with the eyebrows, I had a patient, she very similar to my own, years of microblading, being very self-conscious, never going out without makeup on her brows. And we did her eyebrows back in 2021. And when she came to see me a year later, she had completely, her life had completely changed. And she was so thankful for the procedure, because she found her confidence back, and so she got a new job, she found a husband, she was pregnant. It was a really lovely story to hear and be a part of, I think. And I think with male hair transformations, they are really powerful, in a sense of, it's not often spoken about how hair loss with men affects their well-being and their mental health. And I've met men who go to the most extreme hairstyles to maintain, the image of them not losing their hair. And this can be from, going to bed with a hat on and a whole can of hairspray to glue the hairs in place, and these really, really elaborate sort of hairstyles to conceal that. And for them to finally have hair in it, to not even be, a thought in their mind anymore, and they can just move on with their lives, and they have this confidence back. There's so many stories. We've definitely seen lots of stories like that with everyday people, celebrities. We see all of it.
I have no doubt, and I love to hear that. I mean, I've been offered my fair share, I think 4, maybe 5, from different clinics and stuff. I don't feel like I need it. I feel like I've got lots of hair. You obviously can't see that I have hair right now. I could be a bold gentleman, but yes,
owning that, and you're happy with it, then there's no
exactly.
need. It's quite crazy that people are reaching out to you to do that.
Yeah, but it's just like I said earlier, it's social media. I know hundreds of guys, maybe not hundreds, that's an exaggeration, but I know lots and lots of guys that have had it.
Yeah.
And most of them look really, really, really good, and they're super confident from it. I've just never been one of those guys that really cares about going to the barber every week and doing this and doing that. My hair is my hair. My dad's in his 70s. He's still got hair. So cool. I'll figure it out as I get older. Maybe in my 40s, maybe in my 50s. Who knows? What are the most common myths you hear about hair transplants in general? Is there anything that really kind of jumps out to you?
The most common one is probably that hair transplants don't work, and that you have to keep coming back and having it done again, and that they don't last, that they're not in fact permanent procedures.
Okay.
I think that's the most common one, and then I think that's just because of a lack of understanding of what's happening.
Yes.
It can absolutely feel like if you've had a hair transplant and maybe 3 years later you look at your hair and you think you're thinner than you were 3 years ago when you had your first hair transplant, and that it can be correct, but it's not the hair. Usually it's not the hair transplant that is going, it's the native hair. So the hair that you already had before you had the hair transplant.
Okay.
That's progressive hair loss.
Okay.
So I think that's the confusion there.
Quick question, just off the top of my head, because I remember it from sports and obviously a friend who had a hair transplant. He mentioned PRP. Do you guys do PRP?
We do
PRP,
yes.
What are your views on that? Do you feel that it is as beneficial, or do you think it's kind of a tool to aid, but maybe not as beneficial as, or the research isn't quite there yet? I don't know.
I think it's a great treatment and an additional treatment for improving your scalp environment. It uses, it basically sort of tricks your body into recovery and helps with cell regeneration, and it can improve inflammation if there is inflammation in the scalp. So it doesn't necessarily address the DHT. So we find the results to be quite anecdotal. We do know it can speed up growth results if you've had a hair transplant by maybe 4%. So there's some benefits to it. We do a genetic test that I like to encourage people to do if they are really interested in doing the PRP, because that can have a look at your predisposition to your collagen and your markers based on a genetic level, and that can sort of indicate whether or not you might need to address the collagen or your scalp environment with PRP.
Okay, nice. So yeah, it serves a purpose and it's useful. Right. We've mentioned hair transplants, we've mentioned eyebrows, we've mentioned pubic hair. Do you see any other niche transplant areas emerging? Potentially, I don't know, armpits, bottoms? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Is that chest? I'm just trying to think.
I never say never, because I think that somebody will always turn up and ask. I have been asked quite bizarre things before in consultations. I was once asked if somebody could remove their bottom hair and use that as a donor area, which was fruitless. So no.
Sounds like a kink more than anything, if you're asking me. But yeah.
I think that there is always going to be a niche area for body modification, and so something that I have an inkling or perhaps a trend idea that I think people might be more intrigued in is sort of creative hair transplants. Knowing that you can move hair anywhere, it might be an idea that people are moving hairs to decorate themselves, as a way of decorating or modifying their body.
Yeah. Okay. Fascinating. Honestly, absolutely amazing conversation. Super insightful. Lots and lots and lots that we've covered. So I just want to really appreciate and thank you for your time. Where can people find you online? Social media, website? Please tell us everything.
Thank you. So I'm at the Wimple Clinic. We're based at 2 Harley Street. Okay. Our handles on Instagram is Wimple Clinic, and my personal one with the Wimple Clinic is Marie Wimple Clinic. And for brows, it's the Brow Lift, which is very specialized and specializes in hair transplants for brows.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for your time. You have a great Christmas period.
Thank
and
you.
we will speak to you in the new year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Take care.
much.
Bye. Bye. Bye.